badly. It's aluminum on aluminum, and they're both anodized. So what we're going to do, put a little cap on there just so we don't leak any. I'm going to take it off on the motor side. I'm going to go ahead and put two in here. Put two female straight fittings in there, and go ahead and put our T, and we'll attach that line, show you what that looks like. All right, so what we've done now is put that line from the motor up into the radiator back. And inside, what we've done is cut out about 4 inches of line. So we've got added about 4 inches of hardware here with the fittings and the T, and we put this T in. Now then what we're going to do is take the bottle that we showed you, the reservoir bottle. We're going to mount it here with a line coming into the top of this, and this will give us our stock mounting position, our filler. It'll give us our breather line coming into this. It should give us everything that we need right here. So we're going to go ahead and put all this together, put some water in, and see if we've solved our problem of how to fill and maintain the coolant level in our cooling system.
Okay, Brain, we needed a cooling system. I do like the AN fittings and the steel-braided cables. And I'm okay with a couple $100 for a really nice pump because I don't want to change it, and it was easier to splice into. But yeah, this is a little overbuilt. This is the heat exchanger we're using on Speedster Part Duh. It's probably, if it's hung out into some air, it's probably overkill to dissipate the heat from anything.
From anything, yeah.
We've got the whole radiator assembly here.
We do.
Instead of using something simple like this. What's your thinking here?
Well, when we took the vehicle apart, and we'd never taken one of these apart before, but some things became apparent. One is that radiator structure and this whole front clip here that everything hangs off is integral to the integrity of the front of the vehicle. So that
the radiator and this clip are really kind of, if we start taking that apart,
we lose a lot of integrity in the front, a lot of the structural rigidity that was already engineered in the vehicle.
Okay.
To have to put it back in again with some other device, either strutting it, spanning it, doing something to take the radiator out. And these aluminum radiators don't weigh anything. It wasn't an issue of weight. So
we could put a card or something over the front of this and really cut down the drag by blocking off that airflow.
Yeah, I mean, you could, but now you blocked off the airflow.
Well, that's okay on the radiator.
On the radiator.
But what's this thing?
Well, this is for our air conditioning system. This, again, is in the stock location. So we go through the AC condenser, the airflow, then through the radiator, and a little bit is going to be, a little turbulence is going to be created in the engine bay, or motor bay now. But
so we can't block the airflow from our air conditioning condenser.
No, because this is an integral part of our air conditioning system.
So we might as well use the radiator
to use the condenser
for the water system.
For the water.
Well, this is going to be the most heroically cooled three-phase controller on the planet.
Well,
but
it'll be cool.
I am about heat. I think that overkill is always appropriate. This is going to be this controller. The spec on it, it requires 8 liters a minute. We have a 20-gallon a minute pump.
We do.
Oh, let me show them something I did.
Oh,
that's kind of cool. It is a 20-gallon per minute pump. Right now, I've just got it wired to 12 volts DC. But we don't need 20 gallons a minute.
No.
And the less we use the pump, the less, I lose power through the 12 volt DC. Right here, if you can see it, is a little PWM controller I picked up on eBay for $30.
All right.
It does 30 amps at 12 volts, and guess who it's for?
Who?
It's all our little buddies in cuckoo land who are trying to extend their mileage by hydrolyzing hydrogen.
Oh my God, okay.
There is a mini industry in people making PWMs, pulse width modulated. Basically, it's like the controller in the original Speedster, but it does 30 amps instead of 1400.
Right. Oh, man.
But you have a little pot, and you can adjust the output voltage, you know, from 0 to 12 volts based on the pot setting, and that's so they can make hydrogen.
Making hydrogen. Oh
so
my.
there's hundreds of these things on eBay, and they're going for cheap, and they're really nice little devices. This one came with an aluminum case. I didn't do any of this. Here's the pot that came with it. I just mounted it on the fin here and hooked 12 volts to it and took the output and hooked it to our pump. So I can just turn this knob and adjust the level of the pump.
Perfect.
And so we'll adjust that to optimize it. Eventually, we're going to use the fan enable output, the controller, to switch a relay to apply power.
To apply power at all to the...
But that's how we're going to use the pump, is the controller will turn it on when it needs cooling.
Great.
And we'll have it set to pump, you know, about 8 or 10 liters a minute instead of 20 gallons a minute, which would be 80 liters per minute. Overkill is appropriate, but you don't have to use all of it. Right. We don't need to run this pump like a crazy person dumping 12 amps into the pump constantly.
Yeah, it'll lead up our range, and we can use it.
We can run it at 4 or 5 amps, and it'll be like a little fan, and that'll run our cooling, and I think that'll be a good solution. I see you've got your hoses kind of in here. This was the original fill tank on the car. And you know, I'm still stuck in 1964. A radiator is supposed to have a cap right here that you just take loose and you stick the garden hose down in there and fill it with water. That's right. And then you put the cap back on.
You can watch the water rushing through it if you want.
Exactly. You can whistle down in it and see, you know, if there's leaks and stuff. That's not how this radiator works.
No.
The fill bottle was hooked into the engine.
Yes, it went into the thermostat housing directly into the block from this from the fill bottle.
So there's no real access into the radiator. You got a lower connection. We got hooked up to the pump, as we showed them when we did the video about the lower plate. And now you've run your hoses into the upper connection. How do you put fluid in it?
Well, we used to solve the problem of no radiator cap. We used the stock bottle here, the expansion bottle or filler bottle, and plumbed it into our top line, our AN8 line and an AN12 line. 12's coming off the controller into the upper radiator hose. AN8 line is coming off of the output of the motor into the top radiator hose, and this is plumbed right into it. We just took the hose out of it. It thinks that the engine is still there, and it goes right into our AN8 line.
So you took the hose from the motor and put a T in it and hooked that up to the stock bottle?
Yes.
Huh. So it goes out the bottom of the stock bottle, and we just fill here. Any problem getting the air out of the lines? How does this thing purge? We
would run the pump a little bit, the potentiometer, and turn it off, put it back on, turn it off, put it back on, watch it bubble up until we didn't get any bubbles in the bottle. Just purge the line of air. Well,
excellent, Brain. With this front end back on, it's starting to look like a Mini again.
Yeah, it's been a while, and now we're finally reversing the taking apart of the Mini Cooper and starting to put it back together. I'm feeling much better about it, and we've got the hood back where it'll close at least. We don't have to zip tie it down if we go out on test drives. And it's just missing headlights and a little bit of yellow in the front.
Huh. So I can go drive this thing. We're not going to throw a drive shaft, and we're not going to overheat our controller.
I feel more confident about not overheating the controller. The drive shaft is still, I'm feeling good about it, but I think that I'll get over it by the weekend.
Okay. Well, let's go take her for a drive.
All right.
Okay, Brian. I'm going to push in a little mini thing and hit our start-stop switch. That fires things up a little bit. I'll try pushing the sport button. DSC. We're kind of lit up here. Got my E-Vision going. I guess we need to be in reverse gear if we're not going to run trace down. Take off the handbrake. Let's see if this puppy will roll. I'm going to be very easy.
All right. We're moving.
Haven't hit anything yet. No fatalities. It is quiet. I can hear a little beep from that controller.
Oh yeah, kind of little hum.
A high pitched squeal almost. I think that's what